Peace and love, family. Good evening. How's everybody out there? Um, Hopefully, this shows to those that were interested in this session with me. I'm wanting to have a life coaching session with everyone. This is about forgiveness. Each time I go live and have the life coaching sessions will be various topics. So this is the first of its kind. So in essence. So please bear with me for any mistakes and so forth. But it's certainly an honor to be here to share this time and energy with you. I just want to go ahead and dive into the topic today. So this will be available to view once it's finished and once it's aired. For those of you that do come in a little later or miss it altogether, it will be on my page for sure, and more than likely on YouTube. I'll definitely share it there as well. So, how do we forgive? First of all, let's think about times when you've had to forgive someone, or you've been in a situation where you needed to be forgiven, or you've had to forgive someone else. That is always such a touchy, emotional situation and task. I have my computer here, and it's always got the glare going on. Let's see, can I turn it a little bit? Okay, that's a little bit better. I'm working on getting some contacts, so please excuse me for my vanity moments. But anyway, um, you know, when we think about the fact that we have to forgive someone or even ask for forgiveness, we also must consider the instance of when the situation came about to where there was forgiveness that was needed. Whether it's our own self seeking forgiveness, we can go back and realize that the circumstances were not to our advantage. There may have been some mental anguish going on. We were angry, we were bitter, we were sad, we were disappointed, where we had high expectations of someone and we didn't have those expectations met. So we got angry, we did something or said something that we really shouldn't have done, or we really should have thought our actions through or our words through before hurting someone else. So the core of that is the whole saying that hurt people hurt people. Okay, so knowing where the issue came in at, or where it was seated, um, is very helpful to the situation and to understanding how you can develop the compassion that's actually needed in order for forgiveness to take place. So whether it was another individual that may have said something to you or hurt your feelings or even physically hurt you or disrespected you in some kind of way, um, knowing that they were more than likely hurting themselves. And sometimes people are hurting based on their own perceptions and own thoughts. It could be something that an individual just considered that they're thinking for you in some cases. They're thinking that, oh, well, she probably thinks this, or he thinks that I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. And they lash out at you based on their own thoughts in some cases. So getting to the bottom of the issue and knowing where the problem arose before you begin to get angry or they begin to get bitter against you, or whatever situation arose from the circumstances where you're now in a place of requiring forgiveness, whether you ask them to forgive you or you're asking or they're asking you to forgive them. Forgiveness actually heals. It heals the person who was angry, the person who was bitter, the person who was shut down, the person who was in the fight mode or the flight mode. In some cases, forgiveness unfreezes you as well. Okay, so let's look at this. One step to forgiveness is to establish what is actually true. It's good to establish your truth and allow the other person to establish his or her truth as well. Because sometimes the misconceptions and confusion that sets in regards to the situation can actually cause more problems because you build on that untruthful foundation. Okay? So it's great to get an understanding of what is actually true and factual in the situation. Okay? Now, what are some limiting beliefs that you may have in regards to the situation that you're needing forgiveness about, or you're required to forgive someone else? Maybe there's a situation that you feel that you could never forgive someone who cheated on you, or you could never forgive someone who destroyed your personal property or who stole from you. That may be something that is deep seated. And it's a belief, it's something that is changeable, but sometimes people say, I would never, ever, ever. And then they find themselves having to be faced with that situation or faced with that choice. Always know that you have a choice to forgive, to love, to show compassion, to be understanding, and to show that unconditional love. Okay? Now, there's a book that I'd like to recommend. This book is titled Love 101. Okay? And it really, I read it some 10 years ago, but it really reminds me of how we can work through our situations and we find those little nuggets that will help us spark that love when we can't find love anywhere in our hearts. And love is the other side of forgiveness. When we develop that unconditional love, that helps us to forgive. It's, the really the opposite of anger and bitterness and so forth. But it also fosters and brings in that compassion, that empathy, the forgiveness that we seek. Okay. So, for those of you who may be viewing a little bit later, put a 1 in the comments if you've ever had to ask anyone to forgive you. Put a 1 in the comments. Because sometimes it can be a personal thing where you just have to come to the knowledge of the truth of that you are human. You are flawed. You are a flawed human being. You may, we all get to the point to where we want to be flawless. We want to be perfect. We want to be above the rest, the cut above the rest. But in many cases, we have to come to that moment of truth and know that we are flawed individuals. And it takes us getting to that point of realization and total acceptance of our own flaws, of our own insecurities and our own inhibitions even. Okay? So also, for those of you who have had to forgive others, where you are the one that was angry and bitter and hurt, put a 2 in the comments. Because sometimes you're focused on what the other person has done and you can't get over it. So that's a two-way street that you're having to kind of maneuver through. Sometimes it's hard when they come to you asking for forgiveness and you want to be stubborn, you want to make sure they know the severity of the situation, of how badly they hurt you. A lot of times we want them to suffer. We want them to feel our pain. But the reality of it, because what I said earlier, hurt people hurt people. So in many cases, they were already hurting and you're the one that's feeling their pain. But now they're coming to you to say, please forgive me. I was in pain when I inflicted the pain on you. I transferred my pain to you. So please forgive me. And the thing about it is, when you forgive someone, you free yourself. You open the door to your own peace, your own comfort, your own reassurance of that the sun will shine again. Okay? Now, in many cases, our own beliefs can cause us to be hung up on situations and realities that are basically an illusion. We may feel that we could never go to anyone that has hurt us, so we will never associate with them anymore. Um, what limiting beliefs do you have? Have you even noticed that maybe there was a situation that you could have rectified early on in the game before it took 10 to 25 years to say that I'm sorry, or to say I forgive you? You're my friend, you're my family, you're my coworker, you're another human being, because I notice a lot of people like to separate themselves and distance themselves from those who they feel have hurt them, and the other people may not even know exactly why they're not hanging around them anymore. Why did you decide that I wasn't worthy of your time? I wasn't worthy of your energy. And in some cases, it's hearsay. Somebody said something to somebody else, and that something came to that person, and that person got angry, and that person got bitter, and that person said, well, I'm not talking to her again, I'm not talking to him again. And it's all a misunderstanding sometimes, you know so it's good to clear the air. So for those of you who realize that it was something that you had in your mind, put a 3 in the comments. If you've gone through life imagining a situation that wasn't even true, the facts were not straight, it was hearsay, something somebody said, and somebody lied on the other person, and you got angry just because someone you trusted said something. So that made you lose your trust and your faith in that other individual, which now they're coming to you and apologizing for whatever it is. And it takes a big person to even attempt to apologize for something that you feel that you didn't do. Okay? So this is something that's very, very serious and a touchy subject. Many individuals feel that, oh, I'm not even going to waste my time on that topic because I don't have issues with unforgiveness. I don't have issues with this. But if you think about it, when you are engaged in this type of behavior, it's almost like a cancer. It's going to fester, it's going to grow, and it's going to cause major problems in your life. Whether you end up with a physical ailment and you don't understand what was the onset, when did this happen? Many people end up being diagnosed with various ailments in their lives. And I'm sensing that someone needs to hear this. Even though I physically don't have the viewers right now, but I know that there are people coming to watch this a little later. And I'm definitely going to be sharing this video in groups and on other pages and so forth. But I see that there are so many who, if you look back on the timeline, of when you had certain issues with people, arguments, disagreements, and you shut down, you distanced yourself from those individuals, and you said, never again will I speak to you. I'm done with you. You're written off. I'm going to shut down. And you developed some type of ailment shortly after. Then you began to go to the doctor. You began to take medication, go under various treatments and so forth. And that sickness lasts. It persists even till today. If that's you, your healing will come at the very moment that you decide to forgive. And even the same way that those that know that they've hurt someone and they're not going to take back what they said, they're not going to take back what they did, and whom also have developed health problems. You're taking all kinds of medications, maybe even got to the point of amputation, surgeries, whether you've had tumors removed, even open heart surgery. Yet, after the doctors have done all they could, the situation is still not completely healed. You end up with more tumors even after you've gotten all of the previous ones removed. You have blockages after blockages in your heart, in your lungs, in your brain. This is something very serious, and most people don't realize that the energetic body, your emotional body, is attached to your physical body as well as your spiritual body. That you must forgive in order to heal yourself, in order to reach a place of peace. Let go of the pride. Let go of the ego that's telling you that you're right and they're wrong. So what? Let it go. Ask for forgiveness. Go and offer forgiveness, whichever it takes. Do your due diligence. And once you do what you're supposed to do, whether they receive your apologies or not, or whether they even apologize or not, you've cleared the air. You've opened the door. And then after that, it's their problem, not yours anymore. Okay? Now, for those of you who are very open to natural remedies, I'd like to suggest some healing crystals. One I happen to have with me at this time is a rose quartz. This will bring in the healing energy and help you forgive. For those of you who need to forgive someone, just bringing the proper energetic environment to your living space, whether you keep it next to your bed, even sleep with it under your pillow, whether you get a little pouch, keep it in your pocket or in your purse or your backpack. Even if you decide to wear, you can buy the rose quartz on chains, on necklaces, in a pendant form and so forth. You can wear bracelets with crystals on them where you could balance your chakras and get various healings and so forth. But earrings, if you get the actual crystal, that's a solid crystal, and you can put it in your ears. Various jewelry is very, very helpful to cleanse your energy field in your space. For those of you that are open to meditation, you can get those crystals and you can meditate with the crystals, because life is too short to harbor the anger, the bitterness, even the shame. If somebody embarrassed you and you could never forgive them for what they've done to you, the embarrassment is there and gone. It happened and it's in the past, but you're still holding on to it. You're keeping it in the present and it's still affecting you. So clear that out. Even if you have to go on a fast where you're not eating anything, and just drink clean water, alkaline water, water with lemon, water with cucumber. You can infuse your water with cucumber for that inner healing. Even there are those glasses where you could put a crystal in your water. This is a clear quartz. You can put it in a bottle. They have various things online. I'm sure you can more than likely find those resources available. But it's so many different solutions, so many different ways that you can begin the healing process through forgiveness, through understanding, through getting to the core of the issues and finding the truth and realizing the truth, and knowing that you may not can change the past, but the future will surely be affected. Your future will be affected if it's in your health that you really desire to be healed and to be well again. It's got the issues have gotten you sickened to the point that you're ready to do something. You're ready to do something about it. This is what's needed. Okay? Now, other crystals that I wanted to mention as well, not just the rose quartz, the others I'm going to just name and I'll leave them on a post here in this event as well. But Apache tears, aquamarine, I'll spell them, of course, and maybe I may say them a little different than most people. But malachite, amethyst is always a good one to help bring in that compassion. Blue agate, it helps with anger and resentment. Okay, these are crystals that you can just, and once you learn about the crystals, you will also, there are also different ways you can clean them, and you can put them in the sunlight, you can put them in the moonlight, and you can power them up so that they can be completely ready to be used and worked with. And also just your energy alone, having held them, having put them under your pillow, slept with them and so forth, your energy will become more connected and infused into the crystal, and it knows exactly what you need. These are living entities. It looks like a solid, non-moving form, but crystals are living entities. So other crystals, actually, that's my list. I was just compassion, empathy, understanding, unconditional love, and forgiveness. So rose quartz, Apache tears, aquamarine, malachite, amethyst, and blue agate are just a few crystals that would help with the forgiveness, with the healing process, and so forth. Now, for those of you who would like also to just, I have some banners or the little memes that I've downloaded where I would love to share with you, just little slogans on forgiveness. And I would love to, if you'd like to get one, just message me or make a comment here in the video or on this event. I will be definitely sharing them with everyone that would like them. I moved my computer around because of the screen being too bright on my glasses, but I'll get that and attach it to the group. Thank you so much for viewing. So basically, what I've really shared with you at this point is that hurt people hurt people. And in so many cases, it's just a misunderstanding, um, not understanding where the anger, the bitterness, and the resentment comes from. And just letting go of the past will heal you so much faster than you trying to get over it and you trying to say, well, I don't need them in my life and I'm going to just keep them at distance, or keep them at bay. I can love them from a distance. A lot of people say that, but love is togetherness. Love is compassion. Love is so much greater than just thinking, oh, yeah, yeah, I love you. Yeah, but you stay over there. Anyway, I wanted to also consider that there are some questions that will also help you get to the point. I know there's so many people that are hurting, and it can be so intense that you can say that she doesn't know what went down or what happened, and she can't tell me that I need to forgive when they need to come and apologize to me or whatever situation. A lot of times we try to say that it's internal and we're the only one that's feeling this, that we're feeling, but so many others can certainly feel what you're feeling. If you're a parent, if you have any type of job where you're working around children or you're around children for a lot, children can feel, they're affected by the unforgiveness, by the bitterness, by the anger. You can be more of a disciplinarian, more of an authoritarian, where you're affecting somebody's life when all they're there to do is to learn from you and to receive your love, but you can't get over your anguish and your unforgiving mentality, that you're affecting others around you. They don't even have peace. You're not at peace, and the other people around you aren't at peace, but you're thinking that, oh, it's just my problem. It's just I'm the one that's dealing with it, and I'll get around to forgiveness when it's time. No, now is the time. Now is always a good time to forgive. Okay? Now, I wanted to just list a few questions that you can either write down or you can come back to this video a few times and get and grasp what I'm actually asking you so you can work with the information on your own. I'm available for life coaching and okay, somebody tried to video call me. I don't know why that I put my phone on quiet. But the first question is, what is a problem or limitation that has held you back for a while? Do you have a particular problem or limitation that you've been thinking that, okay, I can't do this, I can't do that in my life, whether it's a job that you wanted, whether it's a particular degree that you wanted to acquire, but you can't go to college, or you feel like this and that is going on in your life. Um, Sometimes it's good to examine the details of it, write it down. Let's take a closer look at it. What is it that you would like to do or have, but something is stopping you from getting it or doing it? What is it that you really truly want in life? And really, if you were to work with me, we can actually show you, I can show you how everything is interlaced and everything is tied together. Sometimes it takes you having an outside view from your situation. Sometimes we can see things from how we feel and how it everything hurts and everything is so heavy. But if somebody comes from the outside and say, okay, this happened 25 years ago or 15 years ago. And after that, you try to accomplish this in life. You try to do that in life. You try to go here in life, but you've been stopped on every side. Imagine what your life could be like. How could it be augmented with joy and peace and excitement and accomplishment with success if only you knew the core issue that was underlying your own mentality, that your own unforgiving nature may have stopped your progression. Okay? So, what is it that is really stopping you from getting what you want? And sometimes we can name that, oh, well, it's not that I haven't forgiven anybody. It's that, yeah, the job I want, I need a master's degree, or they're hiring more competitive people who have higher credentials and this and that. Or maybe I lack a skill, or it's just so hard for me to do this and hard to do that. You'd be surprised how things are interlaced. And it could be just a mental block, a belief that you're holding on to. If somebody that when you were a child told you that, well, if you're not happy, you can always leave that situation and go to the next one. Break up with that boyfriend, break up with that girlfriend. They're not good for you. And that taught you to always be critical in relationships, that taught you to always scrutinize the situation and say, well, I'm not getting what I want. I'm out of here. But that could be I'm adding other components here, but I would love to speak to you one-on-one and we can delve into the issues that persist. But this topic today, I'll stay on task. It's about forgiveness specifically, because a lot of times, even if it's not you who need forgiving, you may not have done anything wrong, but the fact that somebody is angry against you or bitter against you, it may stop you from moving forward in life because you're wanting their approval, you're wanting their companionship or their friendship or their affection, their love, their compassion. You want them to be in your life. You know that it wasn't anything you've done, but they're just bitter. They're just angry. They're just this type of person. They want you to be the person they want you to be. Sometimes it takes you being a better person to just go to them and say, I don't remember why you're mad at me. I don't remember what I did or what I didn't do, but I want my life to move forward and I want you in it. I want you here. And sometimes it may or may not work because they may have to get to a place of healing as well. But surprisingly enough, there are situations where they forget themselves. They just know they're harboring bitterness and they've labeled you as a target. And then you ask them, what did I ever do to you? You've been mad at me for 10 years. You've been mad at me for, and then when they really think about it, I don't know. You just make me mad. Really? Well, how can I make you happy? Asking for solutions. Asking, well, how can I make it better? How can I fix it? And it's not, don't allow yourself to get in a place of becoming their doormat. Ask specifics. Once they come to a conclusion of what will make the situation better, do just that and stop. Don't be a servant all of your life just because. You know, some people like to take advantage. Oh, give me $1,000 and I'll be happy. Because I asked you to borrow $20 15 years ago and you didn't give it to me. And I really need to pay a bill. My lights got cut off and I did this and this happened and that happened. I ended up robbing the bank and went to jail. And they blaming you for it. You know, that could happen, but it's not your fault. So you don't have to take care of them for the rest of your life or give them your whole life savings because they made some mistakes. You can say, well, I'm sorry. If it was the $20 15 years ago that I didn't let you borrow, here's 40. And leave it at that. But can you please stop hating me? Can you please just love me and accept me for who I am? With my flaws and my impurities, my insecurities, and my whatever, you know? And let them know that you will accept them and that you will continue to love them. But when you want to share the joys of your life and that individual turns their shoulder to you or their back to you, and you know they don't care that you achieved certain things in life, you got a college degree, you got a promotion on your job, or you were able to work hard and got your first house, you bought your first house or bought your first car. It's not a used car, but it's whatever you've accomplished and you want to share that moment with them and they're not available. Let them know that it matters. It matters. Okay? And the same thing with you if you're the one that needs to forgive. Don't harbor that hate. Don't harbor that bitterness inside your heart because it can cause major problems in the future, whether it's your health, and one thing I do want to mention, a lot of times we have a lot of health problems, and it's definitely what we eat, for one. But if you're harboring bitterness and sadness and anger and so forth, those emotions require certain types of foods. You know how people talk about soul food or comfort foods? So if you're depressed or you're sad, you're going to go to a lot of starchy, sweet, salty stuff because you want that punch. You want that to give you that awakening. Okay, you may eat some spicy chips or some Taco Bell or steaks a lot, or pastas and cakes and desserts and ice cream and whatever, because you want something to make you feel a certain way in your body. And you're like, oh, the reason why I got diabetes is because of the way I eat. But why do you eat the way that you eat? Because you're consistently trying to fill in a hole in your body. If you didn't have any type of energetic disturbance, those foods would disturb you. You would know that you're unhealthy when you're eating the pancakes and the biscuits every single day. You would feel it. But when you don't feel it and you feel like that's helping you, you feel like, oh, this is comfort, I'm feeling good, oh, that made me feel good, and you go to sleep. Why do we get that itis? We have our dinner, really, some people go to sleep after breakfast, after eating a heavy meal, and then you go to sleep. That's not what food's supposed to do to you. Food is supposed to give you energy. Food is supposed to give you life. So if you eat a big bowl of fruits, whether you get a big bunch of grapes, a whole apple, a pear, some strawberries or whatever, and you have this big bowl of fruit that you can eat for breakfast, and then you eat it, and you're like, I'm still hungry. I still want something else. That's the test. That's the litmus test, because that's food. Everybody's stomach is generally the size of your fist, okay? And you're not supposed to be able to fill your belly with this much food. You know, people can go to buffets and eat a lot of food, and you wonder where it goes. They're trying to fill a hole. They're trying to fill an emotional hole, and it can cause so many problems. But it does take you 20 minutes for your body to realize that it's full. So eat the right things. Heal your energetic body. Forgive. It's so many different components, but it takes someone that can see. It takes someone that can truly see you, your fullness, the energy around you, the energy that goes through you, the energy, because you know, whether we realize it or not, we're not just the fleshly body. We have an energy. Our aura goes around our body. Our aura goes through us, front to back, top to bottom. You know, there's a grid. It's so much, but it takes someone else that can see all of your bodies, all of your parts, that can help you heal. Rose quartz, clear quartz are good stones to have for clarification, to help you clear your head, to help you get to the point of realization of where your issues might be. If you're completely focused, if you're completely intent on healing, you can do it by yourself. Keep a journal next to your bed, and if you get your crystals and you sleep with them, that's wonderful. That's a plus. Even if you don't have crystals, ask your question. Say, what is wrong? Who do I need to forgive? Or who do I need to ask for forgiveness? Go to sleep. Start with a simple question and focus on that question intently with all of your might before going to sleep. And whether you wake up in the middle of the night to go to the restroom, or if you wake up from your alarm, when you do feel yourself coming awake, keep your eyes closed. Move as little as possible. If you have to reach and turn your alarm clock off, or get your phone and deactivate, or put a 5-minute snooze on, or whatever, do that and stay still. Keep your eyes closed. Think of your question, because if you remember that you went to sleep with the question, more than likely you will remember that there's an answer coming to you. A lot of times you've already dreamed about it. Your answer is in your dream. Sometimes it takes an external party to interpret your dream for you, and I can do that as well, but others are around as well. The thing about it is, you want to write down as much as possible, because your subconscious mind is what is on top when you're just waking up. The first thought that comes to you could be a color, or you have a smell a scenery, a restaurant, a house, or a room, or an individual. If it's a pet, it could be a number of things that will come to you when you wake up. And you may not realize, what is this about? This doesn't even have anything to do with anything else. I can't relate it to anything else. But it takes asking more questions. So you have that one question, write it down, go to sleep, wake up, write the answer that you get, regardless of what it is. Always be as true and honest and clear as possible. So if you see a woman, and in your dream, whether she's young, whether she's old, if she's wearing whatever, if she's in the kitchen, if she's in a building, write as much of it as much down as possible. Whether that is the person that you needed to forgive, it could be a man that's connected to the woman, because the man is thinking that you had an affair with his wife. or whatever the situation, if you're a man. I don't know. But it could be something related, something around that. So your dreams will come in a multitude of different ways. Um, so I really don't want this to last longer than expected, because this session is only an hour, which when I do my consultations, I do 1 hour sessions. I do 2 hours and more, of course, but of course, additional costs. But I want to just be able to share my gift with those in need, because there are some people out there who cannot even afford a 30-minute question, because I know the struggle is truly real. I have been there so many times, and I have been in this place of needing to forgive someone and needing to ask for forgiveness. So I know exactly what you're feeling. I may look young, but I'm not a spring chicken, as they say. So let me make sure I did mention a book called Love 101. I'll get the author and also add it to the post there. Um, I mentioned also, when you are ready to forgive and you're going to someone asking them to forgive you, or you're asking for forgiveness, the first thing to do is to establish what actually is true. Establish the truths and admit the truths. If you both can agree upon what is true in regards to that situation, you're just you're a step further in the healing process. Because sometimes there are opinions that are there. There are thoughts that are there. There are feelings. Somebody is angry over how you made them feel when you never said anything per se, or you never hit them, hurt them in any intentional way, but because you made them feel a certain way, they're harboring this against you for the rest of your life. So it takes clearing up those situations, because feelings, yeah, they have their own feelings, but it doesn't make it true that you did anything. Yeah, the feeling comes from inside of them. The emotion comes from inside of you. So no one can make you feel a certain way. So establish what is true about that situation. So was it truly the other person's fault that you felt a certain way? You are in control of your own feelings. You. And you can teach people how to treat you by what you allow and what you accept. Okay? And then the next thing is to examine the limiting beliefs. If somebody really truly believed that you're supposed to go to church every Sunday, for lack of a good example, and somebody invited you to go to church with them because it was Sunday, and you was like, no, I'm sleepy, I'm going to stay in bed, and they get angry at you. It's something simple. You'd be surprised what people literally hold against others for years. It could be something as simple, because their belief, they trust in their God, and maybe it was a holiday. You didn't go to church with me for the New Year. You didn't go to church with me for Easter, and I had bought you a new dress or a new suit or whatever, and I wanted you to go. Or I told you to with me to this women's conference or this men's conference, and you didn't go. You made me go by myself, and I wore this ugly dress or this ugly suit, and everybody laughed at me, and I was all by myself. It could be something that you weren't even there for. It's so funny. It's not funny, people's pain, but sometimes you can probably laugh about it. When the when the truth of the matter really comes out, and if it's something that trivial that they're angry with you because they got embarrassed because they were all alone and you weren't there to support them or be there with them, and you're like, what? They did what? But, you can show your compassion and your empathy at that time and say, I'm so sorry. I was dealing with something myself. I was depressed. I didn't want to get out the bed. I didn't want to be seen. But it didn't have anything to do with you. So your situation may not have had anything to do with them, and their pain and their anguish doesn't really have anything to do with you, but it's that projected we're projecting things onto other people, because truly others are mirrors to ourselves, and we are the mirrors that others see themselves in. So it's a matter of really, really being bold and wanting the healing, wanting to get to the bottom of the issues. If this class helps just one person, I'm very grateful and I'm honored to be of service to you. Sometimes we just need to know the steps and then we could follow them. But if nobody ever taught us, how do we go about healing our own bodies? You know, there's a scripture that says, physician, heal thyself, or a quote I've heard throughout the years. Can an open heart surgeon perform surgery on his own heart or her own heart? With the first incision, they die. So no matter what level of competency you're at in your life, you may be a multimillionaire, you may be a doctor, you may be a lawyer, you may be a teacher, you may be a business owner, but it takes someone else operating on you if it comes down to it. If it requires a surgery, something very, very serious, get the help you need in the most confidential way. But if it's just a matter of you changing your diet, as I mentioned before, go on a fast. Don't consume any foods, any solids for 3 days. Maybe just juice some fruits, juice some vegetables, or make smoothies where you can keep the whole fruit together, and like you can put strawberries, bananas, and apples and whatever together whole, well, cut it up or whatever, in a blender with some water or however liquid you want to add to it, and make a smoothie. Or if you don't like the pulp itself, get a juicer, go buy some actual fresh organic juice, have it juiced down. So whether you have spinach, kale, cucumbers, any kind of green vegetables, add apples in there to give you the more sweet juice, add pineapples, mix it in with your greens, go on a 3-day detox. You will be surprised how much it clears your mind. And then you will see the issue yourself. You will see the seed of your anguish, the seed of your struggling. You may even see why you can't seem to save any money if you clear your head. So I got about 10 minutes. Now, if I see that there is a viewer here, yeah, it's 6:20. I got the computer turned sideways. But if you have any specific questions or comments, you certainly are welcome to list them there. I can address it. If you'd like to inbox me, we can certainly discuss it. I have also on my page, So Lunar Essence, where you can set an appointment with me. We can have a consultation. If you go to my website, solunaressence.com, you can also send your payments through PayPal and so forth, and schedule your time with me as well. I have a Cash App, Solray, SOLRAY, the $ in front of Soul Ray, if you'd like to send a donation for a viewing. If this video has helped you, if this session, this class has helped you in any way, form, or fashion. And it will be up so you can view this any number of times as you choose. So remember, hurt people hurt people. So if someone is the cause of your pain, realize that they're hurting first and foremost. But also, if you're in a place where you're causing others pain, address your own hurt. Get healing. Get clarity. Okay? And know that only you are responsible for your own emotions. And you can heal from whatever you're feeling, whatever you attribute to someone else as having done to you. You don't have to suffer in silence You don't have to suffer publicly, even. You don't have to suffer, period. You can be whole. You can be happy. You can be at peace. You can be comforted. So reach into Soleah. I am Soleah Rayne. The name of my business is Soul Lunar Essence. I am a life coach. I am a seer. I am an energy reader. I'm a published author. I'm a poet. I have so many tools available to help you get to the root of your issues. And for every 1 hour consultation session that's booked, I do have some free gifts that I'll be sending out to you. For those of you that book those sessions with me, okay? For paid sessions, thank you. I do have some free gifts that I'll send to you as a thank you for your trusting me and putting the value in the energy that I have to share with you. Thank you. You're very welcome, Elena. Good to see you. I'm glad to know that that's you viewing me. This is a pleasure to share my energy, to share my time, and whatever expertise that I can use to help others. You know, it's an honor. It truly is. So thank you so much for viewing. Thank you for spending time with Soul Lunar Essence. Peace, love, wholeness, and blessings to each of you. All right. Happy Sunday. Take care.